Kurt got baller. Yeah, man. All right, I gotta leave about the chat. I'll be back later.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. The winding road to the Super Bowl continues here in the divisional round, where two teams look to take another step towards the Super Bowl. It's the Jaguars going up against the Broncos. So with kickoff approaching, let's send it over to our commentators here this afternoon, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Larry, we are located a couple miles west of the Colorado State Capitol building here in downtown Denver. Coming up, it's divisional round Saturday, and we've got an AFC battle on tap between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Denver Broncos. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. First carry for Chris Ivory. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
It should go without saying that anytime you run the football well and gain a nice chunk of yardage, that means the offensive line did their job and did it really well. But let's give them a little more credit than that. Because all week long, offensive line meetings, they're going over adjustments, counters, when line shifts, all those things that go along with it. And yet, you still have to be physical. And that's what they did on the first play.
And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. A gain of 3, second down. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
To throw, it's Bortles. Trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the free safety, Darian Stewart. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. And I don't want to say that this offense starts and ends with Demaryius Thomas, but sometimes it starts and ends with Demaryius Thomas.
There's no reason you can't say it if it's the truth. He is the alpha and the omega of the receiving corps.
Green with a catch left side. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
First down, Mariota. He's got a man. It's Corey Coleman. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination. Guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Throwing right side, that's complete. Demaryius Thomas. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. It's a gain of 9 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and short.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Virgil Green is tight end, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and short. And we take you through the starting defense for Jacksonville.
Jonathan Cyprien didn't have a big name coming into the league, but people know who he is now. A very fast center fielder of a safety.
On 3rd and short, this is Janovich. And he's able to pick up the first before he's taken down at the 27.
On 3rd and 1, it seems natural to just turn and hand it to the biggest guy you have in the backfield. But usually, he's not the primary runner. So for the defense, they're often keying on the running back because he's the guy who gets the ball more often, and the fullback is the blocker. When he ends up carrying the football, that's a heck of a tip.
And they get to Mariota here as he's dropped on the sack. They brought him in off the corner, and he gets in to drop him for a loss of 4. So the defense gets to the quarterback. Now the offense backed up on 2nd down. Play fake. Mariota. He's got time. Under pressure, they got him again. Dante Fowler in there to drop him, and his great season continues. 13 sacks for him now on the year. They go play action. Mariota finding time. And he will have a man, Demaryius Thomas. A good pickup there at 22. Back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Bronco football to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. A 1st down throw for Mariota. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
His pass caught at the 4. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his.
And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. C.J. Anderson, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Broncos are in for 6. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Here's Corey Grant now to return. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Again, they run. Again, it's Ivory. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. That 2nd down run, a big help. The 7 yards leaves him with just a 3rd and 3 now. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
Well, there's an example of patience being rewarded. Ran the ball on 1st down and got stuffed. Most people would scream, throw the ball here in this situation. They stayed with their roots, stayed with running the football, and they got rewarded.
Now it looks like we've got a Bronco that's banged up on the play. We'll step aside and get a report when we come back to Denver. On 1st down, this is Ivory. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. Couple of Broncos there in on the tackle. And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up there and swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles.
No, you're actually counting on your big boys to protect you from them. But on that play, the defensive tackle had the leverage, and he won the battle. No gain, correct?
No gain.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
On every snap, the defense is trying to establish who they are, but on 3rd and short, that's really when you put it out there and tell people who you are, and that's exactly what they did. For the offense, they're looking at their offensive line and saying, guys, where are you? We need you on those plays.
And Denver getting set to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. So a pause here for us as well. Time to pay some bills. Back with more AFC playoff action after this timeout. Mariota now from the 50. And he's got a man, Demaryius Thomas. And he's going to be out of bounds down near the 35-yard line. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
1st down. Here's the run with Anderson. And they'll get him down right about the 20. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
One thing that I observed when Dante Fowler was coming out in the NFL draft, how hard he played the game. Every time I turned on a tape, he was either rushing the pass or making a play in space against the ball downfield, or hustling from one sideline to the other. How about that play right there? Making a nice tackle, holding it to a short gain.
Well, they brought the pressure, and that meant man coverage behind him, so he's still able to complete the pass.
Even as he took the hit. And that's what you have to do, because I was just talking with a coach the other day, and he said, look, it's not always going to be pretty back there. You're going to have to give me completions. Even when you're taking some hits, sometimes you have to be your own blitz control, for lack of a better term. Got to make completions, step up, and make those throws, and he did that.
Screenplay, Anderson. They'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. C.J. Anderson, he scored on the ground and through the air. And the Broncos will extend their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the 2nd half.
On the return, this is Denard Robinson. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the 2nd half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
And that's a loss of 7 on the 1st down play. Now Bortles. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
You got to give some credit. They're able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and get some type of pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
Now Bortles throwing on second down. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
Now a first carry here for Robinson. And this one will go to the... Now the Broncos are going to take a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. Now the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these 2 teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Out of his end zone, Mariota. Over the middle, the catch by Coleman. And now the Jags defense deciding to call a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Second down to the offense in search of 6 yards. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to third down.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
They've got his man complete. So it's on to halftime in this AFC divisional round matchup. As we send you on to Orlando, we hook back up with Larry Ridley. He's got our EA Sports halftime report. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And as we see so frequently here in Colorado, that one over the end line, so it'll come out to the 25. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Second down, Mariota. Sanders has it over the middle. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. They'll run it now out of the gun. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Second down following the run. Mariota now on second down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. They bring a man off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6.
The game plan for any defense is finding ways to make a quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket. When you bring pressure from all angles, you never know who's going to get home. In this case, the left cornerback, right in the face of him, puts him down.
Play fake, Mariota. And he will have a man, Demaryius Thomas. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
He's come a long way since his time at Georgia Tech. What did he run at Tech? He ran hitches and go routes, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, but he ran them really well. He averaged well over 20 yards a catch while he was there. And he still creates downfield in the NFL. That big body and that willingness to go catch the football. He's pretty impressive.
And his friends call him Bebe, the nickname his uncle gave him back in the day. So the offense has it 1st and 10.
Well, that's the desired outcome coming out here in the second half of being able to run the football and establish a little bit of pace and maybe even a bit of dominance at the line of scrimmage. And they want that to continue. Way too early to think about this being ball control time. But the way they're running it, you got to think they may want to continue that and see if they can go ahead and grind their opponents into submission.
Now a 2nd down throw for Mariota. The throw to the left side, caught by Coleman. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Well, good luck there as a ball carrier. You get handed that football, look up, oh, there's a big D tackle ready to swallow you whole for a loss.
Yeah, you kind of count on your guys to give you at least a little bit of time, a little bit of space to try and maneuver, but not on that one. And when you have a defensive tackle who is that strong, that agile, he's a lot to deal with. Sometimes you have to double him, and sometimes you're not able to block him no matter who's trying.
And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game, a chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Now Bortles. Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. 12 yards on the pickup, and that'll be good for a Jacksonville first down.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there, and how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Back now at the home of the champs, Sports Authority Field in Denver. It's Jaguar football, but a little work to do for them. They trail here as we start the 4th. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Here we go. Green, 90.
Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Bortles.
Oh!
And it's incomplete. He was looking to get it to Allen Hurns that time. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
When everything is in sync on defense, that means everyone's communicating really well, and sometimes it's nonverbal. They just know that when a receiver's in one spot, this person may have him, and he's in another spot, the next defender may have him, and they've squeezed the passing lanes down.
Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And Denver getting set to take the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense.
Yeah,
run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. They'll come out in the pistol. Again, Anderson gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4. K'Wan Williams, the one that got him down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Mariota. Over the middle, the catch by Coleman. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or a takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
The best defensive lineman They play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Now Mariota. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
And that's why defensive coaches preach swarming to the football. It's usually going to take more than one guy to get that big man down.
And it did right there. Multiple broken tackles, but they eventually get him down.
Looks like a nickel set here defensively on 3rd and 2.
Yeah, maybe expecting a throw. And he will have 1st down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. Just a gain of a couple, but good enough to keep the drive rolling.
Football's such a game of tendencies, down and distance, and on 3rd and inches, 3rd and 1, you're thinking, man, the fullback's probably going to get the ball. But when you get to 3rd and 2, most of the time that's either the running back or a pass play. So that's a nice tendency breaker by the offensive team there. Hand it to their big guy to pick up a 1st down.
Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
They give it to Anderson. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
Now that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
On 2nd down, Anderson. And some good. And now the Jags defense deciding to call a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And this seemingly endless drive continues. They come out here in the eye. To throw Mariota. He's going to float this one deep right side. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked off by Jonathan Cyprien. Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities. And quickly, they get to the line.
Now Bortles. And he overshot him there. It's out of bounds, incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
To throw, it's Bortles. Caught out left side by Robinson. And he takes this one into the end zone, and all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter.
And there's the touchdown that they needed, so they'll celebrate. But the guys on the sidelines, they've got to stay focused. The onside kick team, they need them to get the ball back.
Yeah, part 1 of the equation done. Now they need to convert and get that onside kick. That's caught. And he will get into the end zone to cut the lead a little bit further. So with just under 40 seconds to go, you figure this is going to need to bounce their way if they have any shot. And the Broncos are able to recover, and that should just about wrap this one up. The 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
The win for the Broncos seemingly assured. They go down to a knee. Now hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. And they take a knee.
Good game, man. Good game.
And now they're going to go for it. This isn't 4th and inches. This is 4th and 14. 4th down, Mariota. He's got time in the pocket. It's caught inside the 25. And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar.